Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren, and if you're new here, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a therapist, and I'm not here to tell anyone what to do with their lives. I'm just here in recovery from Adderall, and I have my dog with me, so if he starts licking my face, I'm sorry, but that's what you get when you got a lazy pit bull like mine. When he doesn't get he's like staring at me now like, what you talking about, mama? When he doesn't get all of the attention, he gets a little upset. But anyways, I'm not a therapist and I'm not here to tell anyone what to do with their life. I'm just someone in recovery from Adderall addiction who needed a place to talk honestly about what this drug actually felt like, because I couldn't find that anywhere else. So I started this about 10 years ago on YouTube, and I come over here to TikTok because, well, I guess this is the place to be. But I started this podcast. Oops. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. So I started this podcast because I needed to say the things I wish someone had said to me. All right, I'm going to try this again. I started this podcast because I needed to say the things I wish someone had said to me before it got real bad. And today I want to talk about something that didn't make sense to me until after I quit Adderall. And that was about 10 years ago. So Adderall didn't just feel like a drug, it felt like a relationship, and not a healthy one. It felt like a narcissistic relationship. At first, it was incredible. It made me feel chosen, focused, capable, special. Like I had finally unlocked the version of myself someone else seemed to be living as effortlessly. I wasn't lazy anymore. I wasn't procrastinating anymore. I wasn't scattered. I wasn't behind. I wasn't overeating. I could do everything: work, conversations, task, emotions, all better. And just like any toxic relationship, it didn't start ugly. If it did, none of us would stay. Addiction doesn't start by destroying your life, it starts by improving it, or at least convincing you that it is. At the beginning, Adderall felt like it saw me. Like the doctor figured it out and prescribed me this magical pill. Like it fixed what was wrong with me. And slowly, without me noticing, I started organizing my life around it. My productivity depended on it. My mood depended on it. My confidence depended on it. My sense of self depended on it. And then something shifted. What once gave started taking. What once helped started demanding. Suddenly, I wasn't taking Adderall to feel good. I was taking it to not feel bad, if that makes sense. To not feel exhausted, to not feel foggy, to not feel like I was failing at being a person. And that's when it started to feel familiar in a real uncomfortable way. Because that's exactly how narcissistic relationships work. They don't destroy you right away. They build you up first. They convince you that you are better because of them. And then, once you're hooked, they start moving the goalpost. You try harder, you give more, you apologize more, you blame yourself when it stops working. And that's what Adderall did to me. That's what addiction did to me. When it stopped helping, I didn't think, maybe this drug is the problem. I thought, what's wrong with me? I just need a higher dose. I just need to take it earlier. I just need to manage it better. I just need to try harder. That's not medication anymore. That's control. And here's the part that really messed with my head. The drug would cause the problem and then sell me the solution. It would take my sleep, my appetite, my emotional regulation, and then give me temporary relief from the pain it created. That's not healing. That's not helping. That's dependency. Eventually, the relationship turns. The thing that once made me feel powerful now made me feel small, anxious, isolated, and fragile. I didn't recognize myself at all anymore. But I'm still terrified of leaving because I didn't know who I was without it. I didn't know how to live with Adderall, but I also didn't know how to live without it. And that's the part nobody prepares you for. Quitting didn't feel like freedom at first. It felt like grief, like withdraw from something that promised me everything and then quietly took it all back and more. I was exhausted, emotionally raw, bored, unmotivated, and I kept thinking, maybe this proves I really did need Adderall. But slowly, so slowly, it was almost invisible. My body started doing what it had been trying to do all along, be a body again. My nervous system stopped being whipped forward. My thoughts stopped racing. My emotions came back online. Not the fun ones at first, but the real ones. And I realized something really important. The drug never was making me better. It was just overriding my limits. And limits aren't a flaw. They're a part of being human. If you're listening to this and you're in a relationship with Adderall or any substance that feels confusing, inconsistent, or controlling, I just want you to hear this clearly. If something only loves you when you perform, produce, or comply, that's not support. And if you're consistently blaming yourself for something that keeps hurting you, that's not failure, that's conditioning. I'm not here to tell you to quit. I'm not here to scare you. I'm just here to name something that a lot of us feel but don't have language for. The fact that Adderall and being addicted to it feels like being in a narcissistic relationship. You might not be completely happy with where you are, but that's just what you know. And you have to give yourself the space and the grace to get to know something different. And I promise you are beautiful and you are worth it. If this resonates, if you've ever thought this feels less like medicine and more like a relationship I can't leave, you're not alone. If you want to, I would appreciate it if you leave a comment or a message. Tell me what part hit you, or send this to someone you might not be ready to talk, but might be ready to listen. Send this to somebody who might not be ready to talk, but might be ready to listen. I only want to keep doing this if people are here, not for ads, not for sponsors, just for honesty and to help. So thanks for being here with me.